The dark feminine. Who is she? She is Persephone, who walks amongst the underworld, with each step graceful as a flame. She thrives in the darkness, dancing with her shadows under mother's pale moonlight. The dark feminine, so resilient in her spirit, does not ask to be seen, heard. She demands and receives. Such as a goddess is the altar, not the sacrifice. And if we partake in the dark feminine's energy in this modern world, who would she be? And what must you do to fully exude her majesty? Well, stay present and we'll cover all the basic steps to fulfill what you seek. Let's start with her inner world. To embrace your dark feminine aura, you must first work with your shadows and find what it is you've been suppressing for the sake of others' acceptance. You must first rid of any people-pleasing behavior you carry with you, for the dark feminine simply does not care about nurturing the fragile egos of others. She simply embraces what truly makes her feel like the liberated, untamed soul she is. In today's world, it is so easy for us to succumb to the conformity of society's traditions. What is accepted and what is cast out, especially for a feminine being. We are told to be humble and nurturing, to listen more than speak, to obey the archaic standard generations have brought down to us. Well, here comes the dark feminine's role. For in life, we must always embrace a balance in our soul, both within the outer world and our inner world. The dark feminine finds joy in being completely liberated in her lifestyle. So what does this look like to you? It could be something so big that you have been suppressing for society's approval, or something so minute it makes you question why you even suppressed it to begin with. The first step is to embrace that. Embrace whatever it is that makes you feel you would be casted away by the sheep. Whether that may simply be singing out loud to your favorite music, or as extreme as being a certified dominatrix, punishing submissive men for sport. Embrace what it is that makes you feel fully in your own powerful element. For me, it is singing naked to my favorite music while I sculpt my freshly washed hair from the shower. I like to light candles in the midst of it all, for lighting candles becomes a ritual within itself and turns your very environment into more of a sacred altar you pray to. I find both singing and talking to myself in public especially satisfying, a feeling of complete and utter control wherever I go. Another thing I like to do to embrace my dark feminine energies by dressing up no matter what the occasion. The very act of spending time on yourself to do your hair, makeup, clothes, and jewelry, that's a self-love ritual itself. So why not practice this craft more often than not? If you don't have time for makeup or it's simply not your thing, that's okay too. Don't worry. I won't question why you clicked on this video. Another way you can embrace your dark feminine energy is by the way you carry yourself, from your posture to the way you walk and the way you talk. But we can go further into the details of that for another video. I find joy in talking about this subject, but I have a knack for kind of trailing off when I get a bit too excited about a certain topic. So to backtrack to the topic of makeup, I love to use bold, dark, dramatic colors in my palette to really embrace that black cat energy. In fact, I would say one of my absolute go-tos is a dark brown smoky eye. I think it really complements my brown eyes and gives them that extra depth and allure I love so much to embrace. I think too, for brown eyes, purple would be the second best option for the allure effect, which is a color I've been really needing to try for quite some time. In fact, I've been very pulled in with the color purple as of late. I have no clue why, but I find like a soft purple, almost between a mauve and lavender, to be incredibly soothing to look at. Like, it has a very calming effect. I mean, as lavender leaves themselves tend to be on the nervous system. But anyway, enough trilling off. For today's specific look, I wanted everything to have a dark, very dramatic effect. Think Morticia Addams or even Selena Kyle, as we all know as the notorious Catwoman. Both prime examples of the dark feminine archetype. Women who carry themselves with grace, yet also carry an amount of control in their universe without ever needing to please others to get what they want. The dark feminine is calm and collective, confident in her control. But if she wants to be loud and boisterous, she will do that, for she always recognizes the free will she possesses at all times. I like to kind of think of the dark feminine as an espresso martini, sweet but with a kick of sass, and rich in soul. Or perhaps a deep red wine, a most valued elixir, best paired with a fine cut of steak, as she knows her good quality and isn't afraid to remind anyone else of her worth. What simple luxuries she dreams fit for her livelihood, you know? I find the dark feminine to be much like a black cat or the jaguar, dark in complexion, for her true element is within the shadows. She prowls in grace and confidence, with her claws just as sharp as her teeth. She keeps them hidden though, but certainly knows how to use them when the opportunity is right. But just like a cat, she also simply likes to enjoy simple pleasures, like eating and sleeping. The thing is, she's just not afraid of how she looks to others. She fully embraces her authenticity, for that is her purpose, the real, raw soul that exists amongst us all, in all parts of it, but most specifically, the parts that we reject. The parts that have been suppressed by us for who knows how many reasons. We all fear the thought of, oh, what if I make a fool of myself? Or what if I take up too much space? Well, my friend, that's the point you're not quite getting. We only have this one lifetime that we know of at the moment, and yet we use the majority of it worrying what people think of us, or worrying about looking cringe or acting embarrassing, or whatever the hell our anxiety brings to the table. In the end, we're wasting our time on it when we could instead be focusing on simply living in our truth and being so authentic with ourselves that it takes the wrong people off the equation and pulls the right people in. For there will be never any judgment when you surround yourself with people that match your frequency. And well, let's say you don't have anyone, no friends or lover, because you scared everyone off when you finally did decide to stop being people-pleasing and start embracing your true, authentic self. Well, be alone then. Accompany yourself with your own soul and practice self-love at its full potential. Be your own best friend and greatest lover. And the right people will eventually come. It's all about the beauty in what we call darkness. This inner suppressed world we may find ourselves trapped in during times we're feeling highly judgmental of ourselves and others, and therefore insecure. For that is the best time we must embrace our dark feminine aura, in whatever way that looks to you. Personally, I find whenever I catch myself being judgmental of others, or maybe I'm feeling like not so in my element, like vibrating at a high frequency, just kind of feeling down in the dumps, I reflect on that. And I think to myself, where are these feelings stemming from? Where is that coming from? What are the roots of it? And this is when I am completely honest with myself. Maybe I'm just feeling very not so good one day and very in my feels about whatever. So that leads me to simply turning the radio on and listening to songs that make me feel powerful, empowered, make me feel confident. And that is honestly the best ritual you can have with yourself, is simply listening to music that empowers you, or doing whatever it is that makes you feel empowered again, but then also recognizing where your suppressed emotions have been stemming from. Recognize it, accept it, and move on. Move on to your daily ritual. Move on to doing whatever makes you happy. Focusing on yourself, focusing on your goals, but also being gentle with yourself. More than anything, being gentle with yourself matters the most. Exude in this dark feminine energy. Be prepared to be misunderstood. Be prepared for people to not like you. Recognize that. Nod your head and move on. Because here's the thing. When you are living in your true authenticity, the right ones will understand every time. And those who don't match your frequency are just not going to understand. And that is completely okay. That is completely okay. So long as you know your own truth and you live in your own truth and integrity, that's all that matters. So definitely be prepared. Be prepared to be misunderstood. Be prepared to be judged. Be prepared for people's insecurity to come out. People are definitely going to have tower moments around you, especially as a dark feminine. That is probably one of the biggest things that can trigger someone, is being so connected to yourself, connected to your soul, and so not unforgiving, but more so relentless, being completely relentless and confident in your own energy, not people pleasing anymore. It's gonna trigger others. And you know what? That's okay. That is completely okay, because that is projection. That's it. It all just stems down to fear and projection. They see something in you that they have suppressed themselves and have always wanted to embrace. Well, I'd be more than happy to be the bearer of good news to everyone. Anyone can be a dark feminine. Anyone can embrace anything that they've been suppressing, guess what? You have free will. So use it. Take advantage of that free will. Anyway, here is our final look for the day. We're feeling very sensual. We're feeling very dark, very classy. I hope you all enjoyed this dark feminine makeup routine, and I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. And until next time, I will see you on the other side. Goodbye.